Does Tomo, see ya, Kareem. Does
Go back.
Tomo talk to Aisha that night or
Oh,
next day?
it would probably be
What?
no, it would definitely be in the future. So
Okay.
like definitely not that night because we needed a break.
Okay. What happened to her token? Oh, there she is. There we go. She's on the map now.
Okay, need a second to. Okay. So I guess he'll find his way there at some point. Where she is.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just open the door and be like, "You busy with anything?"
She looks up from a couple papers. Oh, no, Ron. I'm able to help. What do you need?
There's a few things I wanted to talk about.
All right.
Something that might be kind of important. Comes in and sits down. You're familiar with the whole situation with Finnegan, right? At least you're familiar with you're familiar with the connection that Natalie has with him.
Ah, shit, I can't remember. I think Natalie told that, I think Natalie mentioned it to everyone, right?
Natalie told everyone
Yeah.
that she had been talking to him in her dreams, and the other brain connections would have been in Henderson's reports.
Yes, it was mentioned.
Mm-hmm. And are you aware of the one that I have with Vane? It's essentially
Would those have been in Henderson's reports?
Because I do remember Tomo saying that.
Yes, they found out about it in the finale, so
Mm-hmm.
that would have been half the reason. Like, I'm like, yes, Henderson's reports, so I can just be like, yeah, everyone's caught up on everything. No one needs to like go with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would have been in his reports, since they shared that with the entire group.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, I did read it in one of the reports.
Okay. And that makes things easier then. To deal with Finnegan, at least, we really need to know what he's about and really anything that we can use as as leverage against him. Exploit some weakness or something. And I had the idea of possibly being able to contact Vane, see if she knew anything, seeing as though that Finnegan killed her, she might have a grudge against him. But it's not so I can't just talk to her whenever I want. Similar to Nat's, there needs to be a reason for why she talks to me. And I was talking with Natalie about it. She suggested that I come to you about it, because you might know somebody who could, induce it.
Perhaps. It seems to be a very tricky sort of thing. In that we don't know exactly what causes it. Or if it's still taking place at all. When was the last time you spoke with her?
It was around, I want to say December. It's been quite a while now. But if Natalie is still connected to Finnegan, I doubt that Vane would just go away.
Perhaps, but there's also a rather large difference there. In the sense that, with Finnegan's connection to Natalie, he is still alive. But in Vane's case, she was killed.
Part of me wants to believe that, but there's a part of me that's saying that we didn't that night.
Well, have you had any episodes since then?
Well, aside from the talks I've had with her, similar to what I did with what Natalie had with Finnegan, no. But her quote-unquote creations, or whatever resulted from the whole, from her trying to, from what I believe, save them, Omega and Infinity are still wandering around, it seems like. I don't know how magic works, if the person who did that dies, if it just goes away. Because when we killed Vane, the wisps went away, but Omega didn't.
Correct.
So I don't know if that was a special case, or if it's just something more entirely.
Well, the bond very clearly didn't go away. I'm assuming the bond was created during that time. Whether between you and Vane, or Natalie and Finnegan.
No. It was kind of a result of Aubrey.
Aubrey?
Shane's sister.
No, I know who she is. What do you mean there?
Well, he does the awkward head scratch. He's like, I probably am not the one to talk to about this. Natalie knows more about it than I do.
I am well aware of how she came to pass.
Well, it's what she could do that had an influence. She didn't do it herself, but...
You think she linked you?
What was that? I didn't actually catch that.
You think she linked you?
I don't think she meant to. It seems definitely more of a side effect than anything.
Well, then consider this, perhaps. If the link is still living, not living, that's a poor word choice, still existent, what makes it so that the person it is also attached to, should they pass on, the link would be extinguished? If there is a chain connecting two people, and this is a rather morbid example, I do apologize.
No, it's fine.
But if there's a chain connecting two people, and one person connected to that chain dies, the chain can still be there.
Fair. But then that begs the question, what would Vane want from me specifically?
That I don't know. What does Finnegan want from Natalie?
Nods in like an inquisitive nod. That's why I wanted to ask you about that, because if I can somehow get a hold of Vane and see if she would tell me anything, if she would. It's a very... I don't think she would. But there's that chance that she could. And if we can get anything from it...
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
If we could get anything from that, that would help us significantly more than just sitting here doing nothing and waiting for something to pop up on him.
Understandably. My primary concern is, what would it do to your mental state, assuming we could somehow re-establish communication, should she still somehow be alive?
Fair point.
How do we keep it so that you get information, but are not harmed by it?
Well, in all the other meetings that her and I have had, she essentially was this kind of in the same position as Finnegan. She never really acted physically. She couldn't really do anything to me as a physical person.
But she has her words, and she has her wit. And those two things can be terribly dangerous.
Fair point.
I'm not sure how to begin going about establishing such bond again, should it be gone. It's a matter of figuring out what triggers it. We can look into it if it's something you truly want to pursue, but I do want you to consider the risks for yourself.
Oh, and I definitely understand what's at stake here. From what I heard from Natalie, it seems that, at least in the case of Finnegan, he only shows up when he knows something that we don't. And he needs us to know, but doesn't want to show up in person. At least that's what it sounds like to me.
Could you think of any specific events that caused Vane to show up for you before?
Out of character, I'm gonna just fucking quickly zoom to the RP log to see if I can get my fucking memory back here.
Thumbs up. Speaking of to name the last RP.
Fuck. If I roll a memory to figure this out, would I be able to figure it out?
You can go ahead and try and roll an intelligence investigation.
Okay. Fair. Where is it?
You're trying to remember Tomo, and you recall only really meeting with her. I believe it was twice.
Yeah, that was only twice.
The first time it seemed unprompted. The second time, it felt like a shift. It felt more malicious. But you're not sure what caused it.
I don't know what caused it, but whatever it was, there was definitely a shift. Because she was a lot more aggressive. I should say aggressive. Just more hostile.
persistent.
It's a good word for it.
Did she seem to be pursuing anything in particular?
Possibly. I think it was just... I think she was just trying to egg me on, is what she was trying to do. And he just, like, you see his, like... You see his eyes widen because he just fucking remembers, and also because I, as a player, just fucking remembered. He looks at her and he's just like, I remember what she wanted to talk about. There was a mention of 2 people that needed to be killed. And because of my past, she figured I could do it no problem. I don't want to do that. I feel the people that...
There's 2 people.
One of them, I'm almost certain it's Lemons. The other one, I want to say it's Julia. Because those 2 have a very prevalent connection to Finnegan.
So she wants to use you to directly harm Finnegan. Or indirectly, I suppose.
Essentially.
And Finnegan is trying to do similar with others. But in Natalie's case, he isn't trying to, seemingly, manipulate her into killing anyone.
Well, neither did Vane, really. She brought up the idea, and I denied it, but she insisted that there was no other way to go about it. At least that's what it seemed like.
But then you never saw her afterward.
That was the last meeting we had, and that was in December. And I have a feeling I'm not going to get another one until I do what she says. Which I'm not going to do. At least, he just kind of stops there.
Unless you have to.
Yeah. Don't want to. But...
No, I understand what you're saying.
If it comes down to it, and if they are in a position where they're dangerous, I don't have a choice. But I'd rather... I don't want that to happen.
We're an in-between for something. Finnegan wants to strike a truce so that we deal with the hedge beasts. Vane, as of last you spoke with her, wants to kill those closely linked with Finnegan. None of it directly involves Guardians at all. We're just in the middle. Which arguably is a fantastic place to be, given what we're supposed to be doing. But it's also the most dangerous place to be at the same time.
Exactly, because no matter which side we pick, the horrible things are going to happen as a result.
That is why you don't pick either side. It's never this or that. There's always a third, or possibly even fourth option.
Then how do you suggest we go about this, then?
Well, first things first, I do agree that the Edge Beast are a problem. More than a problem, they're a danger to the town directly in ways that other creatures have proven to be only in the course of months. They have done in several days.
Of course, yeah. I mean...
I don't... Go ahead, sorry.
He's just like, I mean, just look at what happened to us.
And we did just wipe out a very large wave of them. And assuming they will not repopulate overnight, that buys us time. Now, we can either choose to spend that time fortifying against them, in which they will inevitably come again, or we could focus on closing that edge portal.
If we close the hedge portal, we're playing right into Finnegan's hand.
Yes, but we are also working to help the town. We don't know why he wants the portal closed, but we do know that having that portal open is going to, over time, kill us.
Yeah, we can't keep having townspeople disappear into the hedge like that anymore.
It'll be a never-ending stream. I've worked extensively with the hedge. It is almost like a living force of its own. And it does not bode well with the human world. That's why there should never be a permanent portal, and usually there never is. It moves about, or there's small changeling doors that are created. That can only be accessed by those who know about them and are capable of opening them. To have a permanent portal is to throw everything out of balance. It's an anomaly. It's something that doesn't belong.
It would have been a lot easier to deal with this if the person who was supposed to guard it didn't just up and disappear.
I believe he's a key part of it.
Makes you say that.
How everything lines up. It seems doubtful to me that someone would leave and then suddenly everything gets worse. Coincidences are one thing, but a full-fledged change is another. And given reports and the information you've received, there is a lot pointing toward him being the cause of this. Which I know is not what several people want to hear.
Well, yeah, I mean, that explains why he got thrown out of Liz's mansion.
As far as I'm concerned, he's defected.
It's definitely fair to guess that. But are you sure you think he's completely responsible for all that? Because I don't know if anything changed in him when he left. If anything did. But the Beau I met would not have done what he's doing now.
But that's where it's a helpful difference that I've never met him. I'm able to look at this from an outside perspective. People can appear very kind on the outside and be something very different on the inside. Whether the deception was intentional or not, I cannot say, but I unfortunately believe that the person you'll speak of is very different from the person he was.
I suppose we're gonna have to deal with him at some point. Soon.
She nods.
If he is responsible for all this, then this is definitely going to be something that we need to seriously prepare for.
Yes, I've already called in to get supplies. We are dangerously low. They should be coming within the week.
He nods.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, if you can say that again. There was something else I wanted to bring up now that we're on the subject of the hedge. Your contact in the hedge, Dagmar.
Yes?
When we dealt with him before, he mentioned something about one of the two detectives that just now, well, recently, since they've been with us, got brought back up again in my head. And it's been on my mind ever since he's been here. Baron Schmidt, Dagmar warned us about him, saying that one of the two detectives is a serial killer. And he implied, or straight up told us, I don't remember, but I remember that there was a lot of evidence pointing toward Baron Schmidt being that serial killer. And I was wondering if you were aware of that. And if you are aware of it, how much of that can we take as truth?
I knew that one of the detectives was concerning. I did not know which one it was, so to have a name to that is very appreciated. As for trusting Dagmar's word or not, despite Dagmar's demeanor and their strange allegiance, they are rather trustworthy. They've very little reason to lie.
So, we just have a serial killer in the base then?
More than likely.
He, fucking does, he does, a double take, and he's just like, and we're okay with this?
You're also in the base with a cannibal, and you yourself don't have the best track record either.
Well, yeah, but Lemons has said, and he's told us that he only eats the dead people. I'm doing what I'm doing now, and I like you said, I don't have the best track record, but we don't know how active or not he is. Having him be in the same house and not knowing if he could at any moment decide to attempt to kill us, we don't know how active of a killer he is.
I'm well aware of this. We've been keeping an eye on both detectives. Given Rayfield's current condition, it's made it significantly easier since we only need to watch one. Baron Schmidt is extremely effective on the field, as he has proven. This makes sense given this, well, occupation he's taken on. If he tries anything, he will regret it. But something tells me more clever than to try and just kill someone in a house full of people. So long as there's always someone nearby, I highly doubt he'll do anything.
Well, I hope for his sake he doesn't.
The thing about serial killers, or at least some of the types, in which I believe he may be one of them, is they're afraid. They're not murderers in the sense that they are not willing to do it in front of everyone. They hide behind closed doors and stealthy tactics. And so it's easy to set up a situation in which they will not strike, because there's always more than one pair of eyes on them.
Well, hopefully that's what he's like. He hasn't done anything so far, but it's not just you who's going to keep an eye on him.
Luckily, we're blessed with a very observant dog as well.
He chuckles and then just kind of looks to where Romulus was.
Romulus stares at you through the hole.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ, okay.
He's heard his name. He is summoned.
He didn't say his name.
He heard you mentally speak his name.
Oh my god.
You spoke in his general direction. That means you love him.
Oh my god.
Wag, wag, wag.
Jesus. It is my fault, but he's good doggo.
Wag, wag.
Wag, wag.
I mean, the door was open.
Oh, the door was open?
Yeah, he didn't shut the door. It was, open, a little bit.
It's opened a lot more.
Yeah, when Romulus comes in, he's just like, well, speak of the devil.
The doggo.
I believe he heard us. Speak of the doggo.
Speak of the doggo. Yes. He will acknowledge doggo presence. Give him pets.
Romulus is happy. Romulus is appeased.
Good. Only the best for the best dog.
Romulus gets more pets.
Oh my god.
I will keep an eye on him, though, I assure you.
Yeah, like I said, you're not going to be the only one doing that.
And if you see anything, make sure to report it.
Oh,
and if he's about to do something, intervene, but don't get yourself hurt.
Yeah, trust me, if he tries anything, it's not going to happen.
Yes, but given his skill with a gun, I don't want anyone getting hurt more than they can heal.
Well, let me put it this way. I'll make sure that it won't be anyone else if it comes to it, which honestly is just a fancy term for, if anything, if he's gonna do it to anybody, at least let it be the guy who's trying to stop him. I don't want it to be, but in the event it comes to that, and what I tried doesn't work, I'd rather be the one to take the hit.
A word of advice. Should that happen, leave him enough room to run.
Why do you say that?
Because of flight or fight response. If he feels cornered, he will attack, and that'll lead to possible injuries or worse, casualties. And if you are so insistent upon being the one who takes that'd be inflicted upon you. If you leave him room to run, then he tries to run, he possibly escapes, but he will not be gone for long, because there are very few people in the world who are capable of hiding from us.
Keep that in mind if it comes to it.
She nods. Pets the boof.
There was one other thing I wanted to mention. It's not as immediately important as two things I just mentioned, but it's definitely been on my mind since we've been in the hedge, and we haven't really had a whole lot of time to sit down and talk about it, given what just happened the other night. What happened, how we had to go back through the hedge. It wasn't really that much everything with Abel. There wasn't a whole lot of downtime for me to bring it up. But now that we actually have some time, I want to bring it up.
Very well.
I made a deal in there because I wanted to figure out a little bit more about, well, me as a person. I don't remember that much. And for a start, I wanted to find out who my parents were. And it just so happens, that Matthew happened to be one of them.
She gives a small, thin smile. I know.
He, tilts his head slightly, well, it's a stupid question, probably.
I'll be rather straight with you about it. When we were all in the house together, in the hedge, as you recall, there were several people with us. There was Dagmar, there was Valentine, Axton, and then Guile. You remember this?
Yeah.
Guile has a penchant for reading minds.
Oh, you got it from him, then.
Yes. I apologize for prying, but I thought it'd be better I knew the general people I was getting involved with before I joined you in order to help.
Fair point.
Then again, and she pets Romulus more, and she just kind of looks down at the dog. Some of it was not information that was integral for me to know. But he is quite excitable when it comes to secrets. And
Seems like it.
And it is a large portion of our deal that, in compensation for the services we provide him, he provides us with intelligence. You also look like him, she says with a small smile.
Well, that's how I thought you found out, but Guile makes sense.
I'm not that sharp. If I was that good at profiling, oh goodness, I'd be rather intimidated by me.
Well, up until the other night, I could have sworn you were.
I appreciate the compliment. But no worries, it isn't that. Have you spoken with him yet about it?
I haven't, but I intend to.
I think it'd do him good to know. He doesn't know he has a third son.
Not really sure how he would take it. There's only one way to find out, I guess.
He may be a bit baffled. I think the medication will dull any unnecessary reactions, though.
I doubt he's just gonna straight up believe that right away.
Oh, certainly not.
So I feel like it would help if I had somebody who has proof of knowing.
Would you like me to reunite you two?
Well, not necessarily what I had in mind. Just a case of if he doesn't believe it. You can provide the proof you were given from Guile anyways. Explain the situation.
Of course.
But only in the case if he doesn't, which more than likely is probably going to happen.
I believe it'd be better if you spoke to him first. I can always speak to him afterward.
Nods.
It won't be an easy conversation, I don't believe.
I don't expect it to be.
He's rather touchy about these sort of subjects. Though he tries not to be.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that. But, like you said, I don't think he would be able to right now.
She nods. At a later date, then. There are bigger things to focus about at the moment, anyway.
Yeah. Given everything with Finnegan and the hedge beasts and all that, that can Wouldn't be the best thing to bring up right now. Though if I don't do it, we will just sit there, probably.
It won't fester. You'll get a chance. We'll be having a meeting within a few days. Probably tomorrow. At the latest. And we'll discuss a plan from there. What you wish to do in your meantime is up to you, if you wish to wait or speak with him.
I need to do it or else I won't.
She nods and stands up and brushes off her slacks, which are now covered in floofy dog hair. You'll do well.
Nods. Has anyone told you to stay yet?
Aww. See, Sal didn't get to do his RP with her, so I don't know if he was gonna ask her to or not.
Well, Sal had the intention of saying that.
Okay.
It depends on when Sal talked to her, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he talked to her that night or the next day, because this is the next day in the morning, right?
Probably. Maybe.
Maybe?
Okay, here's what we can do. Can just be like, hey, insert Aisha response here. We can end it. And then you can give me what she would have given me.
That's fair, we can do that. Because also, has anyone asked you to stay is a really, really sweet and adorable note to end on.
He was gonna follow that up with a legitimate reason why.
I know, but it's just, oh, that was so sweet. That went straight to my heart.
So am I ending it?
Yeah. Yeah, he was gonna